Cakez, we have Odin language creator, Gingerbell, here present, getting you. Oh, I can't say anything bad about the language. Hello there, Gingerbell. You are the creator of the language. Hello. I didn't know that. Okay, say sad things, say bad things, I don't care. You haven't seen my video. Okay. Many people told me on the YouTube comments, and you guys in chat also told me that I should try out Odin because it is more similar to J, aka game development related, and it makes it easier to add in modules because they are already part of the language. And the idea is, of course, again, like always, we are going to make a game, but I just don't know which type of game we should do. So guys, what do you think? What type of game should we do? Dungeon crawler with gothic theme? That's a really cool idea. Dungeon crawler where you can basically attack in all directions. Why don't we make a game like the following? I have a cool idea. Why don't we make this? You guys know this game? Character is easy to make. We have a bunch of top-down assets already. Let's make a Diablo 1 type of game. A character that moves around with a sword in the game. Maybe an Archvale type maybe Archvale Archvale type of game. Download Odin. Oh wow, this looks easy. Okay, it's another version problem here. So which one of the versions do we take? Samsung Odin? I don't think that's the correct one. Programming language. Okay, so this is the correct one. Okay, import core FMT. You see that? That looks kind of nice already. Programming done right. I just love how they advertise themselves. Hey, programming done right here. We do the programming done right. Okay, right, bro. Download. So what do we have to do getting started? Odin is dead simple to get started with. Clone or download the binaries. Okay, I already like this. We're gonna put Odin on C like on every other programming language. We have J on C, and where's Z? Gotta remove that, man. CMD. Now we have Odin there as well. Okay, so that was decently fast, much faster than Zig, but Zig also had a lot of files. That is not Zig's problem, that is a Windows problem. We are done with this, and I'm pretty sure the next thing we have to do, we have to create this stupid VC-Vars environment for Odin. I actually thought that cloning the Odin repository was enough to get me started, however that wasn't the case. Because the repository were just the sources of Odin, I had to build it myself using the CL compiler from Microsoft. And in order to do that, I had to initialize their environment first with the VC-Vars. For those of you who use C++ a lot, you know what that means. I think this step is a little bit too annoying for a new user. Download the latest release. Oh, I see, but it's recommended. Guys, I'm doing what they recommend. Don't you understand? When someone says recommended, in my opinion, it's the easier thing, the better thing. Right? Or am I stupid? At the bottom, it's mentioned why cloning the repository is recommended in order to make updating easier. Who cares about updating, bro? I just download a new executable. How is it faster than downloading a new executable? Okay. Okay, even though I got it eventually to work, I decided against it and downloaded the Odin binaries directly, just so it's easier for me to update later on. Alright, okay, so we have the Odin exe here. I think it's easier to download the release build if you are a noob. That's my honest opinion. Building it is a little bit of a hassle. You have to invoke the VC-Vars, and then you can build your Odin repository, and then you have the Odin executable. I don't see it being better than just downloading a new executable and be done. Like, this is literally how J, and now I'm comparing it to J because people told me it is like J with modules. So I'm doing the comparison. I think it is easy in J because when Jonathan Blow gives you a new compiler beta, he gives you everything, the executable, the modules, everything. You just wipe out everything and use the new one. I think it doesn't get easier than this. Jonathan is a programmer. Most people making stuff don't want stuff easy. After that, I added Odin to the path so I could invoke it from anywhere, and I was ready to get going. We'll take a look at the launch and tasks.json in a second, and I think we should make a new file, call it main.odin. Aha, okay, package main. Let's do a hello. What happened to hello world? And how do we build? Odin run dot. The run compiles the Odin file to an executable and then runs that executable after compilation. After the compilation, the build command can be used. Yeah, I just want to do build and run. I'm a build and run kind of person. Hey, but okay, let's try this. Wait. What if I have two Odin files? Odin thinks in terms of directory-based packages. To tell it to treat a single file as a standalone package. Add file like so. I guess we can do build as well, right? Aha! Okay, cool. I like this. We are going to invoke the main executable. I like this. This is cool. So, as the task, we're going to call Odin build Diablo.Odin file. Let's do Ctrl-Shift-B. Works. Cool. And then in the launch, we are going to call or start the Diablo executable. I love this. This is great. Yeah, awesome. This is nice. And the cool thing is we can just add in, let's say, SDL2 now or SDL and run it. As far as I can tell. We're gonna do that soon. But let's see. Yeah, okay. So these are comments. I wonder, this is a test. Oh, cool. Does this work? Aha, so this is a normal comment. That's all I need. I am pretty sure. Okay, test. And it looks like the compilation process is reasonably fast. I don't know how long it will take. Ah, they don't use semicolons. Huh, interesting. Just a question. What about the curly brace? Aha, you don't tell me where the curly brace is going to be. You're not like this. They know what they're doing. 100%. Can I inspect this? Aha, so I can't really print line. So I need to know what it is, right? FMT dot. We need LSP. Oh no, please. Please not one executable location error again, please. Language server that gives you go to definition, completion, signature help, and syntax highlighting. You have to download the OLS LSP. Is that described here somewhere? Obviously, there's no documentation for this because who needs documentation? Restart VS Code, it will ask for creating a file. So yeah, I had another LSP skill issue on my part actually this time. But Odin, when you download the extension and you have the Zen mode enabled in Visual Studio Code, which is what I had, you can see that there are no menus, nothing at all. You actually don't get any pop-ups whenever you restart the application or reload the window telling you to update the language server, which is something that should happen because then the LSP works. Took me a while to figure out. It was annoying, actually. They should fix that. But yeah, skill issue. I just tried it on VS Code and it just worked. I tried and it worked for me too. Do I have like some weird setup? Hello, what seems to be the problem? I can't get the Odin language server to work. Something on your PC called anti-LSP system. My grandma just tried it and it works. Shut the fuck. Try to restart Visual Studio Code. How many times do I have to restart this application, man? I don't get a pop-up. Maybe I don't have pop-ups enabled. How can we see that? I'm talking about the pop-ups in Visual Studio Code that usually come up here when you start, where your status bar is. Oh, I see. On the status bar, okay. Update. New version of OLS is available. Requires reload. Maybe this? Okay, so we have this now. Awesome. Wait, we can click on this. Aha, okay, so it opens up the internet. We have the comments down. A string and character literals. This is a string, character, new line character. Is this allocated on the heap or the stack? If I put this in C, this is a pointer to a memory allocated in the executable character array. Is this the same in Odin? It's like C, it will be in read-only data section. Okay. Cool. Cakez, we have Odin language creator, Gingerbill. Hey, you're present, getting you. Oh shit, I can't say anything bad about the language. Hello there, Gingerbill. You are the creator of the language. Hello. I didn't know that. Okay, say sad things, say bad things, I don't care. You haven't seen my Zig video. Okay. You say that now, yeah. Okay, cool. What do we begin? Int. Okay, it's like J. Wait, let's do that. We do the name first. Type. Value. Wait, what if I build with a semicolon? Does it matter? It doesn't matter. I like this. It's the other way around, which is a bit odd, but J does the same thing. That's how we do constants in J2. I'm pretty sure Jonathan Blow was inspired by J. Okay, import statement. Let's look at the packages that Odin has. What is this crypto here? Do I see this correctly? Is this mining my computer? Every time I build, mine's like a couple of coins. Cryptography? Ah, okay. Most language creators should watch Cakez. If Cakez can do stuff in Odin, everyone can. Shut the fuck up. And stop with the nails, bitch. Fuck you. GLFW. SDL2. Okay, so Raylib or SDL2? Okay, now we gotta do SDL, guys. Raylib, we tried it last time. Raylib, is it better? Oh my god, this will be so good. Just watch. Look. It even shows me the... Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so good. Oh! Open window. With height. Okay, what do we need? Width. We're making a Diablo game, right? What was the original Diablo resolution? 640 by 480. Title. Yeah, Diablo. Now that we have this, how about I want to try to find out how to do a while loop without looking. But I'm gonna look at the documentation in a second. I just like exploring things. What is the problem? Undeclared name while. There's no while loop? Already better than Diablo 4. Yeah. 4 running. Aha, so there is no while loop. Aha, that's the typical C loop. Infinite for loop. Okay. For value and... See, that's what I said in Zig. Why is 4 some array and then value? This is so easy. 4 value in array. While running. This is a bit odd, but okay. 4 running. Print a loop. Remove parents from running Cakez. I can do this without the parentheses. But it's cool that, see, this is what I meant before. Both of these things work. And that's good. Now, you remember when in Zig I had to literally call the init function of a rectangle 50? I couldn't call this. And I literally had to call init. I was forced to do init. This just lets me do both ways. I like this more, though. It's a stylistic preference. Okay, cool. Let's use some Raylib stuff. Does it start the window, open the window, or do we have to show it? Lol? Aha, but we can't close the window because we are not gathering input. Next, I learned a little bit about Raylib, aka how to gather input and change the background color of the screen. Tell me that works. Tell me that works and I'll love you. Yes! It compiles, therefore it works. If this is red, it works. Also, it builds really fast. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. We're gonna use this. And then Raylib.keyDown or something. Oh, man, this is so cool. Guys, I don't need to learn the language. I already know the language. I don't need to learn anything about Odin anymore. We already know Odin because it's like literally C++ or C. This is literally C. Yeah. You can just do .escape. It works. How do you debug Odin? Let's see. I'm gonna put a breakpoint here. I think it's just... wait, it expects 0 arguments. Aha! So we have to do like is.escape. So we basically get the pressed key. You need to add debug flag to generate the debug symbols. Oh yeah, I don't have debug symbols. Oh, that's easy. Okay, cool. It's just in tasks. Minus debug? If this works, I'm switching from C++. Is key pressed? Aha, okay, so I was using the wrong one. Okay. Now that I knew how to press keys, I also needed to learn how to do a proper game loop. And that involved having to disable the escape key so that the window wouldn't close whenever I pressed that one. Oh my god! You see that? It automatically indents. Now we need to do some typical loading from texture stuff and create a texture atlas, and we need a small little tile set. First, I downloaded a Gothic-like texture pack from itch.io, then created a texture atlas containing the ground together with the running and attack animations of the warrior. And after that, I loaded the texture into Raylib in order to draw a rectangular part of the atlas. Okay, let's see if we see the texture in the game, because in our assets, you might not have noticed, this is our texture atlas, and I'm hoping to see this rectangle when we run. And let me make a function real quick. We have never done a function in Godot, in Odin. Let's see, draw sprite, constant, proc, takes in a sprite ID and a vector2 position. I wonder how that works. Obviously, we don't have sprite ID yet, so we need to make an enum. This is where we learn the language again. Enum, sprite ID. Does that work? How do we define enums? Maybe it is type first, colon, enum. Aha, so we use our brain, right? And then we do sprite ground. Because, you know, when something is simple, it's easy to understand. And then sprite count, right? I wonder if this works. Do we have sprite ID now? Do we need a semicolon, actually? Looks like we don't. Let's see, that's gonna be errors. After parameter list. Oh yeah, this is supposed to be the other way around. So we have sprite ID, which is a sprite ID. Does this work? Of course it works! It doesn't understand what vector2 is. It's probably a Raylib vector2, right?
So fucking simple, man.
Now we need an array. Let's see. Oh man. Okay, let's try to build this without looking at the... how do I do static or constants, I guess? Yeah, I'm cooking. I'm still cooking. I'm not done yet. Constants? No, constants use the... Yeah, but it doesn't let me do that here. So I'm assuming... Please tell me that works. Please tell me. This is where we want to draw it, right? On the screen. The origin would be the position, and then the rotation would be 0 for now. Okay, I want the rotation as a default argument. How do we do default arguments? This is interesting. I know that I want to have a rotation. Can I default that to... Oh, please tell me that works. Cannot assign a value, untyped float of invalid value, parameter value. F32, not float. Okay. Cannot index a constant sprite. Store the constant into a variable in order to index it. Okay. And now it complains about the atlas. Yeah. Okay. It looks like this is also working, our default parameter. And then we can just draw sprites. I want to draw the ground on 0, 0 with no rotation. Lol, it just works. Okay, but it doesn't center the sprite, which sucks. Cakez unrelated, but you forgot to make sprites static so they don't get created on each call. Yeah, how do I make this static? Let's see, let's find it out without looking. Because so far we have been able to... I wonder if I can just do static. No. Add static? Why add? Because it's an attribute? Now, this is just my opinion, but in C++ and C, static is enough. Okay. Fuck. We add the add symbol. It makes the language more uniform, so when you say an attribute is an attribute, you know all the attributes because you just take a look at add. Next, I embarked on a big-ass journey figuring out why Raylib would draw my quad not around the center coordinates of itself. So for example, if I put a quad on 0, 0, I would expect it to be in the top left portion of the window. If I draw it around the center, it would be shifted so that only a quarter of the quad would be visible, if that makes sense. And then I also had to figure out why, if I added a positive value on x coordinate to the quad, aka moved it to the right, in actuality in the Raylib window it was moving to the left. Ultimately the error here was that I was drawing the rectangle using the pro version of Raylib, and that pro version has a destination quad that I was using wrong. To build it specially for that. More success than Zig, I take it? Yeah. It's better than Zig. It's better than Zig. Okay, cool. Now we can finally work on moving our character. And for that, I would like to create a struct, which I would assume is just the type of the struct or the name. And we call that game state. And then I think we have to call colon struct. Yeah, and now I think that's already it. And we can add in, let's say, a player position, which would be a player. This how you do it? Colon, comma. Aha, interesting. So the members of a struct are separated by comma. They're not. Okay. Or I'm doing it wrong. Ah, yeah, I'm sorry. This is Raylib.vector2. Is there a way to use Raylib as a namespace? Can I do using Raylib? Only declarations are allowed at file scope. Got a using statement. Just came back for a few seconds, but using import is not possible at the global scope on purpose. This is a bad idea. Is it bad? Yeah? I don't know. Okay, so it's bad. So there is no way for me to just call dot vector2? Or can I do dot? Yeah, we can do this then. Let's see. Is this a struct? That's all we have to do for a struct. We have our game state, guys. Which means we can allocate that on the stack for now. That's it. Without the semicolon, of course. Because this is... can we do this? Oh, we can initialize it like C++. What about this? Because the 0 is stupid. Exactly. That's exactly what I think so too. Import RL. Yeah, I guess we could do then RL, right? Can we rename this? Probably not, right? How do I rename in a file? Let's just rename it like this, RL. Dot. Yes. Yeah, this is really cool. It's very... Now, what I... Oh, yeah. Cannot open? It tells me that it cannot open the input file vendor rl.lib. So I think I'm doing it wrong. Oh fuck, he just edited the Raylib Odin too. Did I? Oh no, please. No, please. You renamed everything? Oh god, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna... where is that from? Ain't no way. Yeah, this is why I don't want to use the rename feature of Visual Studio Code, okay? Oh god, come on. I'm gonna take a small be right back, okay? This takes ages. Now it will work once I do remove this. Okay, play. Awesome. Next, I wanted to add animations into the game so that my character can move around. For that, I wanted to know if I could initialize something with specific data like I do in C++. Can I not put default values into a structure? Odin doesn't have constructors. It's a C alternative, not C++ alternative. I can't do the same thing in C. You roll your own constructor. C doesn't allow that now. Aha, okay, interesting. This makes it a little bit difficult because... in my opinion, this is the best way to initialize data by default without having exactly constructors, because you have the data right there with the definition. You could have defined a constant with defaults if you want default, and then use that constant to initialize with. Okay, I see. What is it by default then though? 0? Everything is 0 by default. Okay, cool. And then animation index times it is an I and 32. Okay, so we need to convert this to a float. See, this is why I'm making, hopefully by this you can understand, this is why I'm making, let's say, a game or a project in the language, because all of the different use cases, instead of just boringly going use case by use case by use case, you will have these use cases when you make a project. It's much easier than, next we do this, next we do that. Boring. Okay, cool. This is how we convert. I like it. I continued working on animations. I also added in vertical sync so that my GPU doesn't blow up. And then I started implementing the different sprites that I had in the game. So for example, if I had a sprite for ground, I would also add that to an array of sprites that I could access. This is where I also learned about a neat feature of Odin. You can actually, when you have an array that matches enums, you can index into the enum as you declare the array. Let me show you what that means. Instead of returning a rectangle, we just return a sprite. Then the first part is vector2, offset, size, and then the frame count of 0. And this is sprite ground. Man, this is so cool. Look, it works just like in C++. I mean, Gingerbell doesn't know if he's the creator of Zig. Zig. Not Zig. Odin, that he knows what programmers want. Or at least what I want. Maybe some other programmers want something else, but This is really good. And I would like to, I guess we do, I wonder if this works. If you could just say, can't mix named and not named. Wow. So I just wrote a bunch of code, right? I changed the style of the code and it just works. See, this is when a programming language is well designed. When you can do these edits really fast and it just works. I mean it. I really mean it. This is good. Yeah, it still works. And now the cool thing is we can animate based on how much animation time we have. For that, I'm just gonna literally yoink the animate function from my code because we need a pointer now. I've never used a pointer in Odin and this is going to be the first one. I need an animate helper function. It should return me an int. I've never done a function that returns me something. To convert this to Odin, we have to do this. And then I wonder if, like, how do we do return types? Pointers use caret. It's called caret. Okay. So if I wanted to have a pointer that is an F32, is this, do I do it like this? Is this a pointer or where do I put that? Okay, this is not how you, oh, I also forgot the proc. Probably here. Hey, did I do this correctly? Is this the return? I was just guessing. It just makes sense. By the way, you can use sprite underscore enum sprite is dot enum value equals. I can? This is so easy it hurts. Wow. Unhandled enumerated array case sprite. I see. That's why I don't need to use count. Now I see what you mean. Oh, this is so good. This will allow me to define a static array of the perfect connections that always have the correct data, and I can reorder the ordering of these enums whenever I want to, and it will still work. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. We need the sprites outside, by the way. And how do I make these const now? Replace the with a colon since it's constant. Oh, I see. It didn't work before. Why not? So why can I not index into a constant? I'm not changing it. I'm just reading data. It's like a copy. Things declared with are only available at compile time. They aren't copied into the binary. Oh, I see. Okay, well then we have to copy this into the binary. Unfortunately, fine. I can't do const here, right? I don't think that works. Would be cool to have a way to declare this in a way that I can't change these values. I'm never going to do that because I'm not stupid, but yeah, some people I guess would like that. Okay, cool. Which means we can now index into sprites everywhere because that is what we need next. Oh yeah, the animate function, right? Okay, this is a pointer. How do I see the value of time? Is this the same here? The value of time is this, greater than the duration. And the value of time, I'm hoping that this is it. Look how easy this was to convert. The only thing, I wonder why he chose this character, because it's pointy. Okay, let's see if does this work. No, it's not. Time is used as a type when not a type. Okay, how do I get the value? Think I have to use it after? Okay, bro. I mean, I'm not good at typing this, man. I keep mispressing. It's in a shitty location on the keyboard, man. Okay. Oh yeah, and then animation. Ah, I see. This needs to be an F32 first. So that we have a floating point value and then we do an I32. Cool. Why caret next to time? Because we are going to change time. We have an animation time for the player and we increase that as we run. And now I want to get an animation index that is animate and we can use the time. I wonder if it's just animation time like that. By the way, this is a big question. Is this a copy? Copy? Thank you very much. It's very important because we are using the sprite now. Aha, so this is like in C++ now, where we use the and symbol. Okay. Undeclared name. Oh, I see. We need to define it. Yeah. Cool.
It just works.
Oh my god, we are moving!
The next day.
We're gonna add in weapon attacks using the mouse. I don't know how we track Raylib with the mouse. And then we need to add in enemies. I began the next day by adding in the idle animations for the character because it was looking weird for him to be half in running motion when standing still. And then at the very end, we do game state dot player position plus equals speed. Does that work? We have a plus equals operator between two vector 2s. So, can anyone explain to me why Zig doesn't have that? People already told me because it could be custom behavior. Okay. That can be confusing. Okay. Odin has array programming as part of the language that is not operator overloading. So, but it's doing what I'm expecting, right? Gingerbell, it added the speed onto the vector 2 of the player position, right? If this is not operator overloading, then how is the plus equals defined? Where can I figure out what the plus equals does? Because the vector 2, rl.vector2. Hey, what happened to my intelligence? Guys, my intelligence is gone. It's literally a language feature, not operator overloading. The language understands how that works. It's just two F32s. Aha, okay. What about breakthroughs? Not breakthroughs, fall throughs in Odin. Fall through is a thing. Okay, so by default it is break. If you take this, right? What if I do this? Does this work? Is this both cases? That does not fall through, so for case A it would do nothing. You need to do case A, comma B. Aha, that's good, okay. Like that, thank you, okay, that's good. Actually, comma dot B. Yeah, comma dot B, sorry. That is it, that's how you do both cases together. Swizzle 210 is the same as ZYX. Ah, I see. But I can't do XY, right? It's not possible. Speed.xy times equals 2. That doesn't work, right? Damn. This is really good. We are getting into the deeps of the language now. Interesting. And the distinct keyword, thank you very much for following as well, Nesverse. Distinct allows the creation of a new type with the same underlying semantics. I see, so if I do my structure, distinct is an array of 5 ints, then if I add those two arrays together or those two structures together, it's just going to add together the integer values. And now I would like to understand the array stuff, because that was a little bit weird. The question mark. An array can be constructed like the following. But I could omit this, right? The above array can also be constructed with a question mark to automatically infer its length. I'm pretty sure you can also omit this. Emitting the length parameter produces a slice, which is a different type entirely. Guys, I'm just testing things out, okay? I'm learning the language, okay? Relax. Yeah, I'm gonna read what he has to say, but I also wanna try out things, okay? That's the best way to learn. The I32 comes here. Rust when? Never. So this works, but this is a slice. A slice looks similar to arrays, however, the length is not known at compile time. A slice is formed by specifying two indices, a low and high bound. Slices are like references to arrays. They do not store any data, rather they describe a section. Slice is a fat pointer. Yeah, but where's the memory when I declare it like this? I suppose this points to a fixed array. It creates a fixed array behind my back, and then it points to that fixed array as a slice. And the question mark operator creates a fixed array, looks like. We haven't loaded any other files yet. I wonder if it's just import. How about we try that real quick? I don't know, let's put a structure in here. You'll need to compile the directory, not a single file, in order for the files to see each other. And don't forget the package main at the top. Aha, so there needs to be a package main at the top of every file. So I guess I can't do that then. I can't do import test. I guess it won't find test then, right? Just build the directory rather than the file. Dot means the current directory. If you want the executable to be called, do out Diablo exe. Okay, I mean, that's fine then. Diablo.executable, because we want to have Diablo, right? Seems to work. Cool. And I'm pretty sure we can use the test structure in here then. Let's try that. I can. And it finds it. Awesome. Okay, cool. I see. No import needed. There we go. So, our character is moving. How about we make the window a little bit bigger, because holy shit, it's so small, right? You guys want to see it properly. You want to see a big full screen image, right? At this point, I felt very comfortable in Odin. The language felt just like C++, but in better, in my opinion. It was really cool to play around with it. So I used the time that I had and learned a little bit more about Raylib, because I think the library is perfect, actually, if you want to get started in game development and don't want to use an engine. It gives you everything that you need to know. So aside from making the window a little bit bigger so we can see better, I also added in attack animations for the player. For that, I wanted to make it so that the player attacks into the direction of where the mouse is, divided into the northeast, southwest quadrants. All right, now when I'm holding the mouse... He's moving! Of course he's moving! But it works! Cool. It doesn't really work. He's shooting, he's attacking in other directions. And I also need to zoom in a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It looks a bit odd, of course, because I'm not attacking diagonally, but it works. Now, I think we do a background and enemies, because we can run around already. Now that I had a moving player, it was time to add in a... let's say, somewhat decent looking background, aka a terrible tile set that, yeah, I mean, I guess it does its job. And for that, I had to learn how to do a double for loop. All right, now we need to do a for loop over a two-dimensional array. Key value pair and some map. I guess we can get a reference value to some array. Guys, look at that. Wait, you can see it. I should go to the left. Oh man, this is awesome. Brace for X in XX. That's probably a little cursed though. Now it's better. How about in world map for tile in row? Tell me that works. Look at this, man! This is the coolest for loop that I've seen so far. Isn't it just a nested for loop like in C++? Yeah, it is true. Oof. We need X and Y coordinates. Actually, this is cool. But unfortunately, for row, comma, I. Actually, wait, this is Y and this is X. Okay, so now the tiles should be drawn. Exactly. Awesome. Now... it's simple. Past this point, for me, there was not much more to learn about the language, and so I started focusing on finishing the game. If you could call that a finished game, but yeah, I added in enemies that would follow the player, and you can see right here they have been allocated using a dynamic array, which is something that grows over time if you need it. I also made the enemies spawn on random sites, so they don't have a fixed spawn location, but outside of the vision of the player. To make the enemies not run into the player, I used collision detection, which was already provided by Raylib. One little nitpick I have about Raylib, unfortunately, is that every single draw call is ordered, if that makes sense. So the first draw call is the first one, obviously, but the second draw call is drawn on top of the first. So I had an issue where my player would always be drawn on top of the skeletons, which didn't look very good. I want to sort by the enemy's Y position. Why not do sort by key instead? Ah, sort by key exists as well. Aha, okay, yeah, I mean, sure. So, but okay, but how do I know the key? To do Bill. Should sort by key exist, or is sort by more than enough? Well, that's the question, right? We have to answer right now, right? Key is your Y position now? Yes, but how do I define that Y position in this parameter? So we have an enemy here, so that was correct, right? Is the enemy a pointer or not in the array? The enemy is a normal value, so we need to get a pointer from that, because do we? If it's not, It's not meant to be a pointer? Okay, I guess we're not changing it, right? Slices without any boundaries, so it will just sort the whole array. Aha! So this is the slice operator, where the left part here is the beginning of the slice, and the right part, which is also empty, is the end of the slice. So we basically have no boundaries. The proc return type is, shouldn't it return bool? Okay, I mean, I'm following what you guys are telling me to, but this is looking crazier by the minute. Eventually though, I managed to do it, and then on top of that, I also added in an HP bar so that I could see the life of my player. And yeah, my game was finished at that point. What follows now is a review of mine and a little bit more information about Gingerbell. Not much, but you know, I thought it was interesting to add that in. Cakez Gingerbell works for Django FX. Look the company up, you missed quite essential part. Our next major standalone tool will be available for purchase. Oh wow, what is that? Wait, Valve? Bethesda? Real-time volumetric fluid simulations for games and... Wait, is this CGI? Warner Brothers? Are you guys making CGI? Is this where the Blizzard trailer was made in? Is it thanks to you that we got these awesome Blizzard trailers, but they didn't spend any money on making an actual good game? Did all of the money go to you guys? I mean, you made a good language out of it, so more power to you. That's nice. I see. So Blizzard wasting money had a good outcome after all. It's Odin. Cool. Okay, I mean, it's not perfect, but this is my first game in Odin, and it's kind of like a... Obviously, it's not a real Diablo clone, but, you know, I think for how long we have been working on it while learning the language as well, I think this is great. What I find best about the language is that first and foremost the creator actually joined the stream to give some pointers and explain certain things that there's no way I would have figured out myself. Like obviously someone that is going to try the language that doesn't have this, let's say, privilege, you're gonna struggle much more than I did, right? 100%. But second of all, what I like most about the language is how easy it is to get started. I think the recommended part of the language should not be to download it through Git, but to download the binaries, because I think it's easier to just replace a bunch of files on your computer than cloning a repository and building it again, you know, initializing a build environment using VC vars in Microsoft, right? So the Microsoft VC vars is really annoying to use or to find for some people. Not for everyone, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, and then the language itself, the first thing that is always very important to me is how easy is it to get started or to start making advanced projects. More advanced than just printing something to a console, right? Because that is, every programming language can do that and has it in its own standard library. But opening up a window, or let's say using sound, or maybe using any modules like SDL and Raylib, the easiest so far was in Odin. I just import Raylib and we are good to go. There's nothing like building in a special way using some sort of custom build script that I had to do in Zig. And no, I just built my main.odin file, or whatever I called it. I think I called it diablo.odin. And that's it, right? We are good to go. We use Raylib and then we learn the language by making a game. I think that's the best way to learn a language or anything, is by testing yourself and making an interesting project. And then in terms of the language itself, after that, most of the features that Odin has are present in C or C++, and you would expect them to behave like that. Apart from some minor things, like I think the pointer symbol is... Caret, man, like come on. I have to press caret and then it doesn't type the caret firsthand. I have to press spacebar after the caret in order to actually type a caret, and it's, for me, it's uncomfortable to type. But maybe if you're using the language a lot, you get used to it. I don't know. I like the pointer symbol more, the star. That's just my own preference. Other than that, the language just behaves like C and C++. And for the most part, there was absolutely no friction or confusion as to what type of error is happening or I got. I mostly got 0 errors when typing in a huge amount of code. And for the most part, when you're learning a new language, you will bang your head against the wall for a long time. But again, that is also mostly because the creator helped me out a lot. I would have needed to read the documentation for much longer if that wasn't the case, right? If he wasn't here. So props to Gingerbill, the creator of the language. He has been making it for about 8 years now, developing it on it for 8 years. He seems to be a very smart dude, and he seems to understand what, let's say, typical programming Andys that are not 5-head, like, let's say, I don't know, Zoding or something, that want, right? If you are not a 5-head like me, then you would enjoy yourself in Odin a lot. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's more. The question mark or the slices from arrays, it all makes sense, right, when it's explained to you. But it's definitely, you raise your eyebrows like, what is that, right? But yeah, anyways, I think I can recommend the language to anyone that wants to learn how to program or wants to make even games in it. If you don't like C or C++, and you don't want to set up your project for 10 million days before you can get started, because in Odin you can get started right away. And since J is not out yet, Odin is, I think, the best alternative so far. That's about it. Hope you enjoyed this little Odin session. Maybe I'll put the game on GitHub if you guys want to. Tell me. It's a shitty game, of course. It's another Diablo 1 or Vampire Survivors clone, Hordes of Torment type game. If you wanna inspect it, hit me up. I'll put it up on Discord. If not, that's fine too. Anyways, that's about it. I have to go now.